You kind of get like buyer's remorse after you see it in the daylight. I was gonna school you on that.
Yeah, and then
Dulcich just knows everything.
well, I mean, it was a little...
We're getting like 30. Let all the acorns and shit burn out for a second. Jump in this thing and see what it'll do.
Ready to rock this, bro?
Oh, hell yeah. I was all excited to go pick up this new car until I like entered California. It's all like crappy outside and just reminds me of not wanting to be in California. You know, the Nevada highways were so much smoother because my trailer does not have suspension, and it was so smooth. As soon as you enter California, it's like I'm Baja racing. But I know there is something glorious at the other end of this trip. It's probably going to be too dark to film anything when I get there. We'll find out. Good thing I don't have boobs. They'd be kicking the crap out of my chin right now. Oh man, now we got fog. What the? There is a benefit to driving an old truck with a leaky window. Automatic water refill on tap through the front glass. That comes off the dirty mirror. Well, it's the next day. It was really late when I got to that yard to grab this car. So after loading it, I drove as far as I could, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting tired. So I stopped at the Sleazebag Hotel, which has a nice musky aroma. And when you're in such luxury hotels, you want to take all the bedding off of one and lay it on top of the other for extra protection from bed bugs and whatnot. Well, let's go look at this pile I just bought in the daylight. Yeah, it was a little dark when I bought this thing. You kind of get like buyer's remorse after you see it in the daylight. It is pretty rough. Not your typical California car, which that's where I'm at. You know, this car obviously spent some time near the coast, and it has a speed dent in it, and it has some significant rust. Hopefully the rest of it is better than that, but it is such an original, cool car. When we get it unloaded when I get home, we'll really go through this thing, but yeah. Since I'm becoming like a third gen guy, this is obviously my third gen now, I figure I'd stop and show it off to this guy.
Oh,
Needs no introduction. Everybody knows who Dulcich is.
well, I mean, and I love third gens.
I know you do.
My first car was the 71 RT. I bought it in 1979, and my brother, a few years later, kind of wanted to jump on my team, and he bought a 71 Charger 500, which is what I'm looking at right here. And you know how we can tell?
Tell me, Dulcich.
Come on back. It has the venerated 1971 RT taillights, but they're not only 71 RT.
You know, I've never heard that word before, venerated. I like that word.
Well, you know, I have a pretty broad
That sounds
vocabulary.
muscly, venerator.
I've got a broad vocabulary. But these taillights are pretty rare. The louvered setup, that's pretty cool. That's a feature.
So people don't like these cars because they had such the awesome body style of 68 through 70, and then they went to this.
Yeah.
Do you think this body style would have done better if they called it the Dodge Venerator?
Probably. I mean, you know, really, when you get right down to brass tacks, I mean, these cars were designed in 1969 to 1970.
These are actually designed better than the second gen.
And they've got this really sloped back windshield, which is really good for aerodynamics. They're way more aero. And I don't have to speak from, you know, my knowledge as an aero engineer.
Tell us what NASCAR driver likes them.
I think Richard Petty did pretty well.
Oh
with
yeah,
this
Petty
body style.
kicked ass in these things.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm following you, because we both have 71 RTs, and now we both have 71 500s.
Yes, I've got one that's pretty rough. It was sandblasted and left outside in Wyoming, but it can be brought back. I did a couple of Instagram reels on that, if you guys caught that. But we've got the bucket seats. These are exactly the same as the RT, pretty much, other than the hood and the 440 versus 383. The 500 and the RT is basically identical, right?
I've been calling this car like the little brother to the RT I have.
No,
Because it's green interior, buckets console. It has the same taillights as the RT. It's like it's the little brother.
yeah. I see you've got the regular headlight.
I actually
grille.
kind of like the non-hideaway headlight grille better.
It's
Kind of
lighter.
like it. Well, not only is it lighter, but I don't know, it kind of looks more mean.
It's pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I like them both.
This also has the aerodynamic speed holes in a few spots. I don't know if you saw that.
I noticed that. That's pretty good. Magnum 500 wheel.
Yeah, you see there's a couple inside the car too. And it still has, look, the ones in the car still has the center caps.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, these were 14s from the factory.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a problem. The
And see, those are supposed to have trim rings.
the Ford ones were chrome around the hoops, but the Mopar ones have trim rings like Birdsong just
Except
mentioned.
68 Mopar ones were chrome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You educated me.
Yes, I win! I
know.
scored the Dulcich.
Here we go. We got this little flip up right here for the gas tank. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
No
you know,
gas
I
cap.
do kind of miss this though, the gas cap here. It just, okay, NASCAR had the, or not NASCAR, but Chargers had the gas cap right here, which looked all cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it's supposed to be like NASCAR purposes. But then in NASCAR, they didn't even run those. They put them on the side, and it was side filled.
Well, there's no comparison. I mean,
Yeah.
the 68, 69 Charger gas cap is vastly superior to
Yeah.
the 71. I mean, that was a step back for sure.
You know what? And you know what though? You schooled me a minute ago,
Yeah.
so we're even. You schooled me on the vinyl top.
Yeah.
You said this was not an original vinyl top car.
Well, you can see right here, this is supposed to come to a spear point in the front of this molding,
Yeah.
and then this molding, which does run across here, does not wrap around there. Continues here, reaches a spear point, and then it runs right along there.
And you
So,
also pointed out these are rivets, not the studs.
yeah. Well, let's go inside, and I'll just like reveal. You already know this, but
Yeah.
this is for the audience.
Okay. But yeah, my RT has the same
But
slapstick.
anyway, you've got the T-handle, and it is slapstick, so it's a ratchet shifter, and it'll stop. And you won't find that on the second gen.
No, I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, that's a good feature.
Did you notice anything special about the radio in this car?
Oh, it's got the AM/FM radio.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Can I have it, please?
So last night when I was loading this car on the trailer,
Yeah.
the steering wheel was locked, but when I reached in there and if I pulled on it hard enough, it would turn. So I thought maybe someone had broke the wheel lock with the push rod that comes out and locks it.
Yeah.
I thought someone had done that and broke it, but actually what I was doing was turning the entire steering column. You see where the key's pointed at now?
Oh. Down here.
The entire steering column was turning, and that's how I got it on the trailer. I didn't even notice that until this morning, because it was, when I was loading this car, it was pitch black.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
all
one thing about the steering lock mechanism, a lot of times I'll just take it out of
I take 'em
these
out.
vintage cars because
Yeah.
I always had a fear of something malfunctioning and having it lock up on
In
the
the
road.
middle of a turn.
Yeah.
I always take them out too. I hate those things.
No way.
Yeah.
This is an air conditioning car too.
Yeah. Do you want to see the motor?
Yes.
Now it may have the flat hood, but what's underneath that flat hood is a 383 Magnum.
300, no. Actually, in 1971, they dropped the compression ratio and the horsepower rating went from 335 to 300.
Dang it, I thought I was going to school you on that.
Yeah, and
Dulcich just knows everything.
well, I mean, it was a little lower compression. The other thing I need
So
to
it went
correct you
from-
on, if I don't want to like.
School me, Dulcich.
I watched your latest video.
I'm
on
an
the-
entry-level third-gen guy,
on
and they're really growing on me.
on the 71 RT.
Yeah.
I watched your video and you referred to it repeatedly as a 375 horsepower 440 Magnum,
Okay.
but in 71 it was 370 horsepower.
Oh, you're going to take the 5 horsepower from me?
Yeah, I wanted to
You're
let
taking
go.
my 5 horsepower.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a 71 RT guy, and well, it wasn't me, it was the guys at Chrysler.
You know, I never even pulled the dipstick on this thing. I haven't even looked at anything on this. I was going to kind of save it for when I got... Ooh, I see liquid on there.
Oh my gosh, look at that. That oil looks like it's been changed yesterday.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Maybe with royal purple. It's missing... See, now, would this have had the Holly 4160 or would it have had the Carter?
I think on the 383 and 71 it was a Holly
It was the 4160? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have the 4160 off of the green 70.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Well,
I just...
here's the thing. Okay, so I had a 71 RT and my brother bought a 71 Charger 500.
Uh-huh.
And really there was, okay, 70 horsepower between the two.
Mm-hmm.
But driving the cars, there wasn't much to pick between the two of them. That 383 would just wind up at the top end. It just go, and it was like I really couldn't pick that much difference. So that's where I started really liking the 383.
You know, I haven't seen the cog to V-belts in a long time.
Not on the outside cogs.
Yeah.
Oftentimes you'll get cogs on the inside. I think that's when they're still trying to figure it out, right?
I don't know. I'm really eager to get this thing running.
Are you going to get it running?
Well, duh. I want to make it run and drive for a video, Dulcich.
Yeah, well, it'll be pretty cool.
And plus, you know, this is like the little brother, and the body on this thing is obviously a little worse. And so this one could be like, leave the 71 RT like a time capsule that it is.
Well, it is
Yeah.
a time capsule. It'd be a shame to kind of change it all around.
Leave it unmolested, leave it how it is. Maybe we could turn this one into like an RT clone, since I have an extra 71 RT hood.
Yeah.
And this one could be the hot rod.
Well, that's what I was going to do
Yeah.
with the 383 500 I've got too.
That's gonna be your hot rod?
The only thing, you can't really do the RT clone.
Do all third gen guys think alike?
Because of the doors. The doors
Oh,
hold
yeah.
you back. You can make the Super B.
Well, I was going to take these doors and I was going to put scallops in them.
Do you know how to do that?
Well, yeah.
Well, you're Chris Birdsong.
Well,
Can you do mine too? Seriously, I'm not
hammer
joking.
and a chisel, caveman guy can turn those into scallops.
Do you think you could do that?
Pull your doors off, Dulcich.
Oh man, well you got to put the shark gills
See,
in them.
luckily I have a 71 RT I can use as my template.
If you can do that,
Yeah, I want to do that because it looks so...
I would be absolutely awe-inspired by your talent and skill. I'm buttering you up right now because I want you to do mine too. That'd be
To me,
unbelievable.
the 71 RT, the coolest thing about a 71 RT, and it has to be the non-air grabber hood.
Yeah,
So when the hood's down and you're standing right here where I'm standing,
yeah.
you see the scallops, you see the
And the louvers.
the louvers. It's just so bitchin' looking from this angle right here.
You know, it'd be really cool too. Is the rear window louvers. It's
Because the window in this is so flat,
yeah.
to me it was just kind of more of a booger. It pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
I think they're cool.
Do you?
Yeah.
I put a go wing on this. That's what's nice. I'm in this one cheap enough to where this one could be the beater hot rod.
I think you've got the right idea.
Yeah. Look, Since this is going to be the hot rod, do you think we're really going to leave the factory air cleaner on it?
Well, no, you're going to take that air cleaner and...
Well, I was, but I already bought
you've
one.
Got two now. Yeah.
See, if I would have had this car right after I got the 71 RT, I would have had the seats I needed, the air cleaner I needed. I would have had the taillight lenses that were not faded that I could use.
Yeah.
My console's busted. This one has the same color green console in it. There's so much I could have robbed off this car for the 71 RT.
No, I mean, I really encourage the third gen thing. The 71, it was a really cool car. I mean, I think that they were in the height of the muscle car era when they were designing these cars.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the car was on the drawing boards in '69 at the latest.
Tell the peoples they're missing out on the third gen craze.
Yeah.
And see, and they can get these way cheaper than a second gen and have just as much fun with them.
Well, yeah, I mean, the cars are not made famous in the TV shows and movies and stuff like the second gen. The second gen's really cool. I mean, I've got a 68 RT myself, but...
I think your 868 RT is the same color as this.
No, it's F3.
Oh, a little bit lighter, yeah, F3, yeah.
Yeah, like this,
Yeah.
that's what you're after.
I think the only thing I would fix is probably the trunk. And obviously, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want to have some, girl sitting in the back seat and a bird fly over and drop a dropping and it goes through the hole at that right moment.
Well, that'll put a really bad
It would ruin...
flavor on the whole date.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you
success.
Dulcich approve this?
Approve the whole car?
Yeah. Getting the seal of approval. It's like I'm part of the clique.
Well,
Third gen bro now. We got 3 of them.
Yeah. You ought to sell this one to Freiberger, and then the 3 of us can all have 71s.
No, this has the Freiberger,
Oh, the Freiberger delete on it?
No, what was that with Superman?
Kryptonite.
Yeah, it has the Freiberger Kryptonite rust. So that kills this car for Freiberger.
Oh.
He can't be part of the bro club.
Oh, well. Sorry, David.
All right, I got a long way to go. I need to get home today. So I'm glad I got to stop by and bullshit with you and show you my new toy.
I'm glad you came by, too. It's
Yeah.
always fun to have birdsong around.
All right, bro.
Yep. Take
See
care.
ya.
Drive safe. And I'll see you.
I am back in Las Vegas, and the California rain has followed me here. I am at a car wash right now, and you're probably thinking, what idiot washes their car in the rain? This idiot. But there's a reason. I have a genius plan for this. Now, how many other people are going to be as dumb as me and wash their car in the rain? All the stalls are open. So this gives me free range to not be in everybody's way unloading this pile of junk, and I'm going to unload it into the vacuum station and get all the poops and everything out of it first. It is pretty nasty in here, and you guys should be lucky that they have not invented smell-o-vision yet, because it is ripe and musky, especially since it's damp and moist outside. All the smells are coming to life. Another reason for this ingenious plan that I have here is, well, the steering wheel's locked. And now I can turn it a little bit, but the entire steering column is rotating, as you see. So to minimize a wiring disaster, which might already be there, it's a straight shot from trailer, dip, vacuum. And then after we get all the poop out of it, it's dip, car wash. Ingenious, I know.
Perfect. Man, good thing I got my winch, because there's no way in hell I'm going to be pushing this thing. Oh, it gets nastier when you open the door. This is legitly my first time opening the door and looking at this thing. Well, I know these need to get out of the way. I see we have more in the back seat. Ugh. Oh, great. We have a glove box. Oh, how long has there been water in this glove box? There's a flasher that just broke apart when I touched it. Titanic-like. Ooh. Ugh. Wheel trim rings. Well, we can pull this glove box lid out, which this thing is in good shape. Might even use this on the 71 RT because it's the same color. How convenient. There is a garbage can and garbage. Ooh, push button. Correct. 1971 seats. Man, I'm going to kill their vacuum in this thing. See, and you know this was a marine car because, well, it has like that coastal rust to it. Also, there's a decal on the front bumper that said was a naval base marine pass decal, like to get onto the base, just like the 71 RT in the last video that we did on a 71 Charger. So pretty cool to have Air Force and Navy both 71 Chargers. Big block. You know what, we'll start at the top and work our way down. Ooh, the carpet's just coming with it. Oh, you know there's some disease in that freaking glove box here, or the console. That's just, ugh. Ooh, I know. We'll use this as our rag. Hopefully I didn't bring any California rats or mice to my residence in Las Vegas. That's actually kind of why we're vacuuming it out and pressure washing here. Leave the mices here. Oh, there's nests over there. Oh, lots of garbage. Lots and lots of garbage. Sorry, whoever maintains and owns this place. Oh, I found more poopage. Poop and broken glass is a terrible combination because then as it cuts you, the poop particles can get in your skin. That is ungood. Cool. We got a marine belt buckle and a truck driver belt buckle. And the guy's name was Ken. Ken, we have your name. We know who owned this car before. Ken the Marine and truck driver. Oh, it's my first time opening the passenger door ever. What other kind of goodies are we going to find in here besides more crap? I found a penny. Check out the belt buckles. This one was obviously worn more. This one, he clearly was not going to give up his guns until they pry it from his dead cold hands. Because there's lots of crap in here. And the armrest just rotted and fell off. Because there's rust holes in the roof of the car. Well, another way we can tell it's a coastal car. Obviously this car spent time around the coast by the rust that's in the body. The bottom side of this car is absolutely rust free. It is gorgeous. But then the top side, or where humidity can get in between two layers of metal that is not protected by paint, well then it starts to eat the car from the inside out. That's why you see the trunk lid is so blistered and broken out from the inside out. And this car has holes in the roof. So over time, water and humidity has gotten in the car, and because it's a full interior car with carpet and everything, the rust just, it's like a breeding ground for rust on the floor pan. And so this car, or anything that didn't have paint on it, just the humidity and the salt in the air just attacked it. But it's still not as bad as, like, you know, Minnesota cars. Those are terrible. What is this? A Mopar genuine gasket. Is there a date on it? March 4th, 1997. Detective work, diagnosing how long it's been since this car was on the road. So up to date, we have 28 years this car's been off the road. And since they were buying repair parts, it's probably a good guess. We have our horn button. This goes in the center of the steering wheel. Oh, we found more pooping grounds. Yeah, that's definitely a cat. And unfortunately, I forgot to bring anything to scoop it up with. So, sorry, welding gloves. You get to pick up kitty logs. Oh, the spider web's attacking me. Working on cars is... Oh, it got on me! That was a stupid move. Not as glorious as everybody makes it out to be. You know, these car washes hate people like us. I know I would. There is the freaking hole that has rotted out. That. See, like I was saying earlier, when moisture gets in between layers of metal that are not protected, like the trunk lid only has paint on the outside. So the moisture gets in between there and it just starts to eat the car alive from the inside out. Especially if it's in the shade, because the sun burns out the moisture. But if the car is in the shade, then the sun can't burn off the moisture that is in between the layers. So it does this, and does this, and does this, and does this, this. And we've got our FM radio, which that was an expensive option in 1971. And this was supposed to have a dictaphone, which dictaphone is a cassette recorder that would have been on the console, and you'd have a little handheld mic with a cord on it, and say you're headed to a meeting or you're a book writer and you just came up with the next brilliant idea for a plot in your story. Well, instead of trying to write it down while you're driving, you could just turn your dictaphone on and blah, 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 and give yourself a memo for later. So they didn't sell a whole lot of cars with dictaphones because it's kind of a dumb idea, but at the time, book writers and stuff thought it was ingenious. Ooh, I see. 29,446 miles. That has to be 129,000. It has to have rolled over. But you know, on second thought, looking at this thing, look at the pedals. The pedals are actually nice. Look. The throttle pedal is pretty nice. You know, the steering wheel it still has a lot of the texture in it. The shifter still has all the grain on it. So, I don't know. It's possible that it could be 29,000 miles. Now, being this car has the non-hideaway grille in it, which I'm actually kind of starting to prefer. It does not have the hood release inside the car. It has the hood release right there, which I had already popped it. All right. Let's check out this 29,000 mile theory. That, in fact, is a Chrysler power steering belt. Those strut rod bushings are freaking mint. So it could be possible that this is only 29,000 miles. Not likely, but possible. Especially all the way up to 1997. This thing had to have been 129,000 miles. Had to have been. But it still has the glorious 383 Magnum air cleaner with the 383 Magnum pie lid. And our fender tag. Check it out. Look at that. So this, in fact, was a 383 Magnum AC console buckets FM radio 500 model, which had the cool RT Venerator taillights, as Dulcich would say. This is a pretty freaking cool car, and I actually don't even mind the light green, the mint green color, and it has just the correct amount of patina. Look at that. Looks like it's got satin clear on it because of the water from the rain. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably 130,000 miles. Because look, we got the Slinky Dink lower radiator hose. I see some random hose clamps here and there. Modern type hose clamps, not the spring clamps. So I'm going to say it's actually 130,000 miles. I'm going to call it. We still have the air cleaner. Do we have an air cleaner element? No. Uh-oh, what was that? I don't want to lose any authentic parts. We have a mouse nest. That's unfortunate. Yep, that is a bona fide mouse nest in there. No, don't sprinkle in the engine. You know, for a mouse nest, these guys were pretty tidy. There's not even any poop in there. So, I guess they didn't want to shit where they sleep. Which I wouldn't either. Oh, one of them did. So the air cleaner must have been the studio upstairs apartment, and the intake manifold was the downstairs. Sorry, vacuum. Haha! Take this! I don't want those falling on my head when I get home. Whoa, is that actual color on the floor? No way. Whoa, what is that? What is that? Oh, more cigarettes and garbage. I was like, what is that, a booklet? Like, got some information on it? All we know is this guy's name was Ken. Oh, hey, that looks like a shift linkage clamp. Oh, I can just hear all the glass being sucked up out of the back seat. Alright, I am getting close to the end of vacuuming up all the main nasties inside the car. So that way when I get it home, there's less. These will be the poop particles, what's left of it. Try and get up all the debris in here that we can. Suck everything out of the engine that we can. Holy crap, there's a lot of poop under the intake manifold. I bet you we just sucked up a carcass. I could have swore I just saw a leg get sucked out of the frickin' intake manifold. I thought I saw a frickin' leg bone. I think I'm gonna have to use the winch on getting this over there. There's a little bit of downhill slope, but then it goes uphill. If I can pull this block fast enough and get enough speed, I might be able to make it into the car wash. I don't know. All right, go. This is not going to happen. Hell no. Not a chance. Okay. Dum 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 dum. Of course, then everyone watches you like, what the hell is he doing? Because the gas station's right there. Oh, and it's just now starting to rain again. So we did complete our vacuuming in perfect timing. I don't know why I was helping push. We're going to go ahead and tape up this intake manifold just in case there's a chance that this thing will run. I don't want to get all that water down into the engine. But being this was a coastal car, it's not really that good for cylinder walls. It is officially time to blow away 28 years of outdoor wilderness from under the hood and nastiness from inside the car and the door jambs. We might even get a glimpse of what the actual color of this car looks like when it's all wet, especially under the hood. This paint should come out nice and blow out all the debris. Then we can start doing some detective work when we get it home and why it was parked. There's usually a reason why they were parked. So after we get it all cleaned up, where I actually want to put my fingers all over it, we can do that detective work. So let's go ahead and charge the machine and wash this car. Maybe we can wash some of the salt out of it from the air in Sacramento. See, we'll go with rinse. Ah! See, the key to prevent from getting lines in it is oversecting lines. Got to blow all the California agriculture out of it. I don't think this engine's going to turn bright orange like our 71 RT did. This one's got some rust in it. Blow out from under that intake manifold, blow all the rat and mouse feces out. Oh yeah, look at all that yuckiness blowing right out of there. Oh, like a geyser of nastiness. Hey, I found a screwdriver. That is super old. It's got a wood handle on it. Sweet. Holy crap, we're starting to get a little bit of orange back on the motor. The Magnum is coming back. You have seen all the crap that blew out of the door jamb. Oh, damn. This is the part that everybody just cringes at when I do this. It was absolutely filthy anyway. What damage am I going to do? You notice I stayed away, or I went lightly over the vents. Oh no, not the gauges. Man, look at how much brighter it is under the engine bay now. You can see all the original F3 green. You can see the fender tag good, the extra tag attached to it. The engine's orange again. It doesn't have a rat nest on it. It's actually pretty nice under there. I dig it. And then you shut the hood for awesome patina. Like, I would clear coat this. Look how cool that looks. Except, you know, that and, you know, some of the excessive stuff. But overall, the patina is cool looking. Look at it shine. Tail lights are all bright and red. I'm gonna have to steal those for the RT. The only thing that sucks is this primer spot. You're gonna have to sand that primer spot off to get to the original green, because that original green is so bright and pretty. Let's check out the interior. Man, the doors actually open nice now when you blow like 20 pounds of crud out of the door jamb. See, it's supposed to rain tomorrow too, so you know this is going to be like damp for a long time. When we get home, we'll drill some holes in the floor and let some of the water out. I don't have to worry about letting the water out on that side. Probably should load this thing up and get the hell out of here. You know, I'm starting to become quite fond of the third gens. You know, the body style is really growing on me, and when you add in the cool RT taillights of a 500 or an RT, if you put RT doors on it, RT hood, and the interiors are actually pretty nice. I will say the interiors are pretty good. I like the interiors. You can have quite the budget Mopar muscle car for a fraction of the cost of a second gen. And the second gens are starting to get really expensive, and the parts are really expensive when you can have one of these and have the same fun for fractions of the money. I'm digging it.
All right, the car is safe and sound at home in the backyard. I kind of want to dive into why was it parked? You know, it's kind of puzzling me. It's making me ponder. Why did the guy park a thing? Why did he stop driving it? You know, I'm sure you guys have wondered the same thing every time you see a classic car or bought a classic car and it's complete and you're kind of wondering, well, why did they stop driving the thing? I mean, it's a cool car. What prevented them from going any farther? You know? And so I'm looking at this car and I'm kind of thinking the same thing, like, well, what the hell? Why did he stop driving it? So we're going to dive into, see if we can't figure out, and also start getting the thing ready to run and drive tonight. There's one thing that's really bothering me, and that is the steering column. Okay, the steering wheel is locked. And the only way to steer the car is to rotate the entire steering column. That needs to be fixed. Needs to be addressed. So I had purchased ahead of time an ignition lock cylinder, so we can go ahead and fix that properly and actually have a way of starting it and having power throughout the car. Right off the bat, the radiator is gone. I'm assuming the radiator was gone while it was in storage, and the reason for that is my detective work is leading me to think that some California tweakers had then gone in here and stole the radiator out of this car while it was in the man's possession at the storage unit, because unlike the hideaway headlight cars, you can easily pop the hood from under or from the grill. Now, also, the passenger side glass is completely busted out. That could have just been vandalism from whoever, but also I'm assuming whoever busted the glass out probably trampled the roof, because if you look, you got that print. It's like the perfect shape of some teenager that just jumped on the roof of the car while it was in the storage unit or something. Some hoodlums ruining a classic Mopar muscle car. Another reason I think it was the local California tweakers that took the radiator is also, for some reason, they had just taken a pry bar, pulled it in here, and just jammed into the condenser, into the core support, and like pried, or went this way and that way, because
The core support is dented, condenser is busted. They stole the man's battery. They straight up snipped the battery cables. You can tell those are clean cuts in there. And they just ripped these right out of probably the battery cable leads. So they were not very gentle in taking the man's radiator nor the battery. But that doesn't make me think that's the reason it was parked. We did find a carburetor gasket. Maybe the reason it was parked is it had carburetor issues. That could be a possibility. As the tweakers were carefully being gentle with the man's radiator, they also bent up the man's radiator fan. One of the blades is completely folded back into the lower crank pulley. I can see the owner maybe did some theft deterrent by pulling the two leads off of the ballast resistor, which would then kill the power going to the coil, which prevent it from starting. So maybe that was some preventative anti-theft that he had thought ahead of time. So looking underneath this thing, I'm really going to call 129,000 miles. Just the amount of gunk that is all over the K-frame, the engine, the transmission, the drag link. I mean, that looks like 129,000 miles, not 29. But nothing stands out that would have caused him to park this thing that I can see right off the top of my head. Let me look at some freeze plugs. Maybe that is why the car was parked. Well, there's so much crap all over this engine, might not even get to see freeze plugs. Oh, I see one. I see two. They look good, but wow, this thing is gunky. All right, this does have the correct 402 oil pan, but it does not have a factory dent in the oil pan. And that is recent. And that was not me. That is someone not knowing a Mopar and not having the jack on the K-frame correctly, and then the jack slips backwards and bam, crushes the oil pan. But if you look, that is clean metal crushage. So I'm assuming that was done by somebody at the towing yard. Hey, you remember when we were vacuuming it out and I found that shift linkage clamp? Guess where that went? Right here. Mystery solved on that, but I'm assuming someone just did that to get it out of park, and that might have been the towing yard. What do you think the odds are that this is the original engine? I think we're gonna go ahead and clean the block up a little bit where I know the numbers are hiding and see if this still has the numbers motor in it to kind of prove the mileage theory. Last three digits are 611, it looks like. Well, 611. It is the numbers 129,000 mile Motar. Well, nothing super obvious as why it was parked. We know it was pillaged after it was parked, but we don't know why it was parked. Nothing like just stands out like in front of me as like, oh, that's obvious. There's rods hanging out of it. Freeze plugs are blowing out of it. You know, there's nothing that's just like boom in my face. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start making this thing run. Well, I'm hoping the wiring is still somewhat good after this column has been rotating on its bracket. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish unbolting the bracket. They left one bolt in there. So unbolt that, check out my wiring. Well, thankfully, the wiring looks like it's okay. Yes! I was worried about that. So now I can slip that back through. No, you're gonna rotate this. Put that back like it's supposed to.
right about there. Run my wiring back on the column, put the bracket back up in place, to hopefully don't pinch any wires, bolt everything back together, and then take it back apart. All right, that was a simple task. Got the column all bolted back together. You cannot turn the steering wheel now, so now I actually got to take the steering wheel off so I can access the release for the lock cylinder, swap out the lock cylinder, and then we've got a rolling and steering car again with a functional ignition switch. Wreck anything. Even the steering wheel doesn't have any cracks in it. Although, being down there at the pedals and having a flashlight down there, I was definitely able to see that the throttle pedal had a lot of wear on it. So it truly is 129,000 miles. Oh, that's, hell, that was just on there finger tight. Hell, like one good tug would have taken that thing off. But it would have risked breaking my plastic steering wheel. And that turn signal switch feels really good. I hope it works, because the aftermarket ones, they suck. Turn signal switch out, collar loose, snap rings pulled, everything undone. Just like the Dulcich and myself, I like removing the steering wheel locks. I just hate them. I don't want to have the key always on me to move a car around. Sometimes I just like to push it on and off the trailer or whatever without the key. Bye-bye. Oh, what the... You order the correct shit, they send you the wrong shit. I can still put this all back together, because then when the new one shows up, I just slap it in. I don't have to take all this back apart to put the new one in. It's just aggravating. I thought I was going to be done with that. Well, I officially can steer it now, at least. Well, since we do have that shift linkage piece, the clamp anyway, the lock, basically it's like a horseshoe that as soon as you tighten this bolt, it applies pressure to the adjustable shaft here into the block and keeps it from moving any longer. Since we have it, might as well put it back on. Go ahead and get this all cleaned up, because it's all filthy like a 120,000 mile leaker. Let's go see if it works. Park. Oh man, that shit. Oh, that thing is stiff. Might have to take this sucker apart. It is not. No wonder the shifter handle is all busted. The shift linkage is quite stiff. All right. Ooh, don't want to hurt my air cleaner lid. I like that. Well, it's moving at least. Sonic cleaner. Whew, those things were filthy. Hopefully they'll look much better when I pull them out. You know what? Hell, might as well just throw the whole damn shifter in there. So that's where it's at, getting buzzified. I love this Sonic cleaner. This thing was utter garbage, and now it's all shiny looking and like super clean. Same with the T-handle. This thing came out so clean. I decided, well, hell, we'll just throw the whole damn console lid in there, along with, check this out. Look at this. I should have taken a picture of this before.
This was nasty and rusty and junk looking. And look, check it out, check it out. Check it out. It just cleaned all the gunk out of it. This thing moves so free now. Awesome. Yes, as you saw, my shifter works perfect. It's all sparkly and clean now. And I even reinforced it with the custom hose clamp because it was all broken up and brittle. So that was a problem with these. Even the Dulcich had pointed that out before. So all fixed. We'll put it on the two-step. All good. We have steering and shifting. Now we just need to make it run. Now, to the best of my knowledge, this engine hasn't run since, I'm assuming, 1997 from that receipt that we found under the seat. Receipt under the seat. It's kind of almost like a tongue twister there. I'm going to go ahead and pull all the plugs, and we're going to pull the distributor, then pull the oil pump drive gear. You've seen me do this before. And we're going to squirt the cylinders with some PB blaster, some lubricant, just in case there's some rust or some stick piston rings. Stick. Man, my mouth isn't working right today. Because this was a coastal car, you know, with humidity and everything, it can get inside the engine, especially with no carburetor. Makes it easier. And if the valves were open in that cylinder, oh, worse. So now, hopefully, by lubricating that, it'll keep us from breaking a piston ring or messing up or scarring a piston or just something like that. See what this first plug looks like. Well, obviously running rich, and it's got some oil burnage on it, so you can see all the caked on burnt oil around the electrode. Not terrible, but definitely showing its miles. All right, next, number 5. I'll get to 3 in a second. That's a little better. All right, well, I'll continue and get the rest of these out, and we'll analyze the best from the worst. Well, here's cylinder number 3. That is very ungood. The entire plug is filled up with just gunk and burnt oil. So this engine was not firing on number 3, 100%. Cylinder 3 is probably really bad. Because when you have an engine that doesn't burn the fuel in the cylinder, well, then the cylinder gets washed out. The fuel washes away the oil that's lined the cylinder walls, and when that happens, now the piston rings eat the cylinder wall faster because the fuel is washing away the oil. So, not very good hopes. Well, I'm going to assume this engine's not in all that great a shape because we have 2 more plugs that are completely gunked up on the passenger side. One that is also gunked up, and then 1 clean running cylinder. So, you know what? I probably bet the reason this car was parked is because it really just started to run like ass. It's probably on like, what, 4 or 5 cylinders? I'm going to go ahead and fill up all these cylinders. Well, not fill them up all the way. Just give a nice squirt of some lube PB blaster. Just so that way the cylinders have a little bit of lube, because who knows how long it's been since this thing has run. And this stuff will actually attack rust. It'll soften it up. So I think this is going to be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and do all 8 cylinders and then get to priming the engine. Kind of want to pull some valve covers and look at this thing too. So seeing as how the whole heater system has been bypassed, which is another indication of lots of miles, we're going to go ahead and cut these heater hoses out of my way. Weight reduction. Also go ahead and get this cap and rotor off of here, because you know they're probably going to be a junk since he obviously didn't replace the spark plugs that often. You know, all this in here, ooh.
Yeah, that's wasted. Hercules. Get my first peek into the bowels of the engine's butthole. I can get a glimpse in there for you. Into the bowels of the engine. Maybe you can see, yep, see, I think you can see the rust on the core there. But other than that, it looks pretty good in there. Now we need to pull out my oil pump primer as I knock. Ooh, that thing is stuck in there. That thing doesn't even want to attempt to come out. Ugh, man. Maybe if we can rotate the engine a little bit, that would free up the distributor gear and let it come out of there. First, we're gonna have to pull this fan off because the bent blade is into the crank pulley. Look how much crap is in the freaking crank pulley, man. Holy cow. What did this guy drive on? All of that came out of the freaking crank pulley. Let's see if we can rotate this thing over a little bit. It actually rotates fairly one finger. I can rotate this thing with one finger on the breaker bar, so that's a good sign. I think I had this problem once before, and I made this little doohickey right here to try and hook around that distributor gear. Let's see if I can't get that thing. Aha! Success! Yeah! I win! You lose! Alright, so for the guys that don't know, this is just a really long extendable hex that goes into the oil pump. So it eliminates the gear that would drive the distributor, and this will just drive the oil pump on its own. You can buy these. They're great. You need them all the time. So we're just going to shove that down in there. Now, when this thing first starts spinning, it's going to be no load on it. As soon as you hear the drill, that means we've got oil pressure. Hear that? That is oil pressure. Oil pressure. It took a minute, but I'm going to pull a valve cover just to see the condition of the valve train, because if it's all rusty and nasty, that's kind of ungood. You know what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and rotate the crank while spinning the drill. It's going to circulate oil up into the top end because the camshaft has holes in it that will line up oil feed to the top of the rockers. So they don't constantly get oil pressure, they just get spurts of it. Oh, here it goes. Good news, good news. It actually all looks pretty good in there. You know, it's got some age to it, but nothing is like abnormally junk. Like, it looks like at 130,000 miles, the guy actually changed the oil regularly. And you could tell rotating the engine over and priming at the same time got all the oil back up circulating into the rockers. Also, all of our rockers don't have any play in them, so the lifters are still pumped up, no bent push rods. Just all pieces of valve cover material, cork and whatnot, fell into the cylinder head. So it was easier just to pull the rockers off to clean that out. Now when you're putting the rockers back on, a little tech tip for the Mopar guys is just take a piece of wire and string it along across all the posts that hold the rockers, and then put the push rods on top of that and kind of space them evenly to where they would be laying out. Then you can just take your rocker shaft and lay it directly over that, because otherwise you'll be fighting push rods falling down. You'll tighten one up, one will fall down over here, fall down here. You'll be fighting it
versus just laying the rocker shaft on, bolting it down, and then sliding that piece of wire back out. What is with this car and rain? Stop it! No, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. You are actually seeing a new bling, new old bling on top of my grungy, nasty old engine. This is the correct carburetor that would have been on this engine. This is a 1970 4160 600 CFM vacuum secondary Holley factory carburetor. This was not aftermarket. As you can see, it has the correct linkage for the Mopar, which our kickdown would go right there. And our throttle cable go right there. So it is a direct bolt-on OEM. I was feeling lazy on replacing the whole battery cable to the starter, so we're just going to splice in. Ooh, a new piece. Stinky. The good copper. The stuff that'll burn your lungs. We're gonna need more firepower. Fire! So I need to get the engine at top dead center on number 1 on the compression stroke, or at least as close as I can to it, so I can set the rotor on the distributor aimed at number 1, set all my plug wires, put the plugs in, and see if this thing will actually make kaboomy noises after I get all that stuff situated. Anyways, come on. Please spin. Well, that was anticlimactic. Oh, now I'm starting to get some clicky noises. Ah, there we go. They just had to fiddle with it. That's probably the most that starter has spun since 1997. All right, let's go ahead and stick my finger in the hole and get compression on number 1. Feels like it. So weak. Maybe I need to hold the throttle open a little bit. Hardly getting any air. So we're gonna hold the throttle open to allow some air into the cylinder, hopefully. No. Not a whole lot of poofage on that plug. Alrighty guys, well, something's not right. So I stuck my finger in the hole, pull the trigger, there's just no compression. I mean, there's like a little hardly anything. And I know that's not enough compression to run, to even try and make a combustion. So I've got my compression tester here, and I'm going to hook it up and see what the heck is going on here. And I was thinking maybe it's just the one cylinder. Maybe I've got another bent push rod like I did on the 71 RT. But then I went to each other hole with my finger and it was the same result. So 1 cylinder, okay. 2 cylinders, man, that's a coincidence. But 3 and 4, that tells me something else. So I'm thinking that maybe the reason this car was parked is possible that it jumped a tooth on the timing chain because it has 130,000 miles on the factory nylon timing chain. Yes, correct. It isn't the crank sprocket is steel.
The upper sprocket is aluminum with nylon teeth embossed or impregnated over the aluminum. And so when that plastic breaks apart and gets brittle, the only thing that's left is hardly an aluminum tooth, and they like to jump teeth when that happens. So I'm going to check this, see how much compression we actually have. I'll check a couple cylinders, and I'll even show you here. All right, so yeah, it was the Schrader valve that was restricting, but even with the Schrader valve out, I'm getting, it peaks at 60. That's no buenos. Let's try cylinder number 5. Well, cylinder 5 is even worse. We're getting like 30. Well, after all this work, we found out why it was parked. I'm betting 100% that it jumped a tooth on the chain, because I went ahead and put the oil pump drive gear and the distributor back in the engine just to visually show you how much slack is in this chain. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the timing chain in this is like the equivalent of Napoleon Dynamite jumping through a pair of Fat Bastard's underwear. Plenty of room, not even hitting the rim. Look at this. This is absolutely garbage. Okay, we got it loaded. Now, let's get this up here. All right, I'm gonna start going that way. Watch the rotor. Going, 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 going. Oh, then it starts to turn. We'll go back. Boop. Look at this. Look at all this play. So, there's no way that that timing chain would not skip on the sprocket without all that play. And that's most likely why we have such a low compression. Well, there's really no bright side to it other than the engine has to come apart. And when I have to take an engine apart, we're gonna throw some speed at it. Yes. Let's see, which one of these turns it on? Okay, it's not that one. Wait. I hear speaker noises. I hear speaker. Well, the original engine in this car may be totally clapped out. Needs to come out, get fixed, and add some speed to it. But you know what does work? Light it up. The original FM radio. What the hell? At least I can have some jams while I'm pulling this shitty ass engine out. Since this engine's been running, yeah, we're gonna get it going just as soon as I can. Yeah, classic tunes with classic cars. That's my lifestyle. Well, I think we can officially call this car done for tonight. I am curious though, I wonder what else works. So knowing I need to buy speed parts now, because I don't want to make it stock, I wonder what else I'm going to need. So I'm going to turn the ignition on. Now, obviously we're going to need probably a starter relay because it's not doing anything, and I've got my handy dandy Cornwell screwdriver. So, starter relay. I don't see no headlights. Well, we're going to need... Oh, we have headlights. Okay, so the headlight switch is a little finicky, but we do have headlights with one running light. Do we have anything in the back? Oh, we got one side marker. We have 3 taillights. We're missing 3, so 50%. And we need... Okay. We have 1 side marker, 3 taillights. Ooh, 2 side markers. Does this one work? Okay. So we're technically 50% right now. The high beams, I think, are on. So we have 50% headlight. We have 50% running lights up front. We have 50% side markers. And we have 50% taillights. Well, we don't have 50% dome light because we don't have any. Does the amp meter work? Ho ho! It does. The amp meter is doing things. What is this? Does the AC, does the blower motor work? Ooh! I feel air coming out of that, and I hear electric motor running. Sweet. I wonder what else works in this thing. Does the glove box light work? Ugh. No. Oh wait, what's this? Ho ho! Is this possibly the original California plate? It's a blue plate. Which the blue plates were, I believe, from like 69 up into the 80s. So this could very well be the original plate to this car when it was new. Sweet! Well, it is time to go inside and fire up the computer and check out all the speed parts that I want or can't afford. So I'll see you in the morning. Oh, brightness. It's the next day. Well, our engine may be expired, and which is very common at 130,000 miles on these engines. That timing chain is literally a ticking time bomb. Anything over 100,000 miles typically on these, those nylon teeth on the upper sprocket, they're either worn or cracking, or even worse, when the car sits for a long period of time, well, the plastic gets dry, gets brittle, and it starts breaking apart. And as soon as you go to actually try and start that thing, well, sometimes it'll jump teeth. And that is what has happened to our 383 Magnum right here. Another reason these are also ticking time bombs is the old engines, not just Mopar specifically, but the old engines, big blocks, small blocks, they all had cast iron piston rings. The technology back then was not as good as it is now with moly thin rings. And so cast iron on cast iron, well, something's got to give, right? And it's, well, the cylinder walls and the piston rings as well. So you get a wear there, so the bore actually gets slightly bigger, which means the piston rings don't have as much tension. Also, the gap, the piston ring end gap opens up, and you get, well, blow by. So I'm pretty sure our engine has got blow by. I'm not too worried about that. We can make this thing run with blow by, but we cannot make it run in the current condition, the timing chain, and the way the timing chain is set up to the crankshaft. They are not in sync anymore, I'm pretty sure. I did, however, find a timing chain that will work. This is a used timing chain that I dug through my pile. I have totes of engines that I have blown up, broke, whatever. If you're a car guy, you probably have those too. And I don't even know if that crank sprocket actually goes to this timing chain, because I pulled it off a crank that was just sitting there and I couldn't find the sprocket that went to the chain or the upper sprocket. So, but it's gotta be way better than what we've got. And I want to see this thing run. So we're gonna go ahead and just like install it into our 383 Magnum. Alrighty guys, I went and got a new compression tester because I want to show the difference between how far off the cam is to what it will be when we get it set correctly. Actually, I saw a spike of about 40 on that one. So we're getting about 40 psi, which is definitely not enough to fire the cylinder. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the valve covers. We're going to do a leak down on it. So before we really tear into putting a timing chain on it, we want to see if all the cylinders are actually going to hold combustion. If it's got a, the timing chain is that far off to where it's only got 40 psi, well, did it bend any valves? If we don't have any bent valves, then we're going to go ahead and proceed to putting our new used chain on the thing. Correction, I sprayed a little bit of lube on the O-ring for the compression tester, and it is now holding pressure, and we are at 50. So 50 psi, still nowhere near good. Well, that one came off much easier. I went ahead and pulled my AC line out of the way too to assist in it coming off easier. But I don't see nothing crazy in here. And it looks like all lifters are pumped up and everything looks straight. Now I don't have an actual leak down tester. Pretty much I'll just take the compression tester, pull the Schrader valve out of it, fill the cylinder with air, and if I'm getting any kind of air out of the carburetor or the exhaust, we got bent valves. I don't need a dial to tell me that. Of course, it does come in handy when testing piston rings. So I may have to get another one. Mine broke. Well, since you saw it spin the engine over, we know it has some compression. Nothing coming out of the carburetor. I do, however, hear air coming out the exhaust. Listen. You can go inside of the original muffler. That is air that is leaking past the exhaust valve. So most likely it's got a bent valve in it, or it's got a burned valve. We're going to check a couple other cylinders just to see. Now, for those that aren't aware, all the rockers are off this side of the engine, so all the valves should be seated. There should be no leakage anywhere except past the piston rings. If there's leakage anywhere else, we got issues. We know number 5 is either got a burnt or bent exhaust valve from the timing chain spinning. But since that timing chain has skipped, what could have happened, most likely, is now the exhaust valve, so the piston's coming up, the exhaust valve will close before the piston comes all the way up. But if the camshaft has skipped teeth, well, now the cam is retarded, so now the cam will not pull the exhaust valve up in time, and the piston might come up and bend the exhaust valve, which is kind of what I'm hearing. We're going to go ahead and test cylinder number 1 now, see how bad that is. Well, see, you saw there's enough cylinder that it actually rotated the engine, but I do hear what sounds like quite a bit of air coming out of the cylinder head, which means there's a lot of piston blow by, or a lot of piston ring blow by. Let me go listen for the exhaust. I don't hear anything out of the carburetor. Well, I don't hear anything out the exhaust on cylinder number 1. Nothing. Quiet as a church mouse. So I'm going to assume cylinder number 5 has got a burnt valve, because if it was a bent valve, most likely the other cylinders would have followed the same pattern. We'll check out one more. Well, the final result is, I'm assuming we have a burnt exhaust valve on cylinder number 5, and we have 1, 3, and 7 that are just completely wasted on the piston rings. Our baseline is going to be really, really slow.
Now, just to verify before I put the timing chain in, I checked another cylinder to make sure, you know, this one was comparable to the rest, especially the one with a burnt exhaust valve. And same thing, 50. So I just actually got done testing 2 cylinders over here, and it was 50, 50, 50. So I'm gonna say 50 is the number. Well, guys, it's gonna take a minute to get all the accessories off the front of this engine. So I'm going to crank up the tunes and tear down the engine and also pull the condenser, so that way I can access this completely clapped out 130,000 mile Mopar ticking time bomb timing chain, which someone already pulled the pin on the bomb.
Smoke chokes the air in this devil's den. Holly's parked tight, engine still humming then.
Well, we have found it. The notorious nylon tooth timing chain. Look, there's plastic teeth that are missing. We're lifting its gums and showing the teeth. Look at the play in that thing. You're gonna tell me that didn't jump a tooth on the timing chain? Look, it's like those old school dial phones, or what do they call them, rotary phones? Yeah, 911, need help. So we're going to rip this garbage off of here and put a little better one on there. But yeah, look at that. The plastic is completely gone, and look, I can almost pull the chain off like a belt. Check it out. Ungood. Yeah, you definitely want to replace these. Otherwise, your VTEC, when it kicks in, is permanent, bro. Garbage. All right, so I got the new sprockets on, and I just want to point out how far off the dots are. I didn't move the cam, and I didn't rotate the crank. These are put on exactly where the old ones were at. And you can see dot to dot, that's like a tooth off. So hopefully it'll run way more betters with the dots lining up. All right, it may not be a super tight new chain, but it is 1,000 times better than what we pulled off. Check it out. Way more better. That will hold time. Plus it looks racy. All right, here's the moment where we find out. Did we in fact gain compression? Hopefully. Not really. We're at about 60. We gained 10 PSI, which is still not enough to run this thing. What the hell? Requires more thinking. Time to see if our ignition system is going to do anything. Hopefully it does. Points are pretty simple. As long as you set them the gap correctly, as long as the condenser is working properly, as long as the coil is good, usually it's going to work. So we'll go ahead and we'll just go right to the starter side of the ballast resistor, hit the trigger, and hopefully everything does its job. You'll be able to see some spark right there grounding on the coil. Not consistent. There we go. Yeah! I don't know if you saw that, but there was sparkage. That makes my life way simpler. Let's go ahead and put plug wires on this thing now. All right. Well, the timing cover is back on. The balancer's on. Whatever oil was in it is still in it. That can sling around in there and bounce around.
I'm hoping that the starter can spin fast enough, because I think part of the reason why we're getting such low compression on it is the starter just isn't spinning fast enough. If I can get a high torque, faster mini starter on here, which I'm going to get tomorrow, that might be able to spin the piston fast enough to where we will have a little bit more compression and kick it off. Because 65, 60 psi is not a whole lot. So I've got the distributor set, it's clamped down. We'll just see what happens here. I don't have a whole lot of faith in it starting with this starter. Here we go. Kind of nervous. Nothing. Huh. Are we getting sparks? Ugh. Oh, we're getting spark. We'll try advancing a little bit, see what happens. Nothing? Really? Not even a popping or farting? It doesn't even sound like it's building compression. It's not even like it's just huh. Let me check spark at the wire. I swapped coils because at the wire, at the end of the wire where it meets the plug, it was really faint. Sometimes it wouldn't even go. So we swapped it out for the backup coil, whatever it was a backup to, and now we're getting a little bit more spark. Whoa, what the? Okay, we'll try it. So forgetting that the coil wire was still hot and cranking it to test that, we got the biggest poof that we've had so far. So let's try this again. More poofing. Or not. I'm hearing some very minuscule thunder boomers out the exhaust. Like, I wouldn't really call it combustion, but poof, 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 which is a good sign. Try advancing a little more. Nope. I don't know. If I can just get it to spin faster, just to try and not lose as much blow by past the piston rings, and try, if I can just get it to run for like 15 seconds and sling oil up on the cylinder walls, I believe it will run. So tomorrow I'm gonna go get a mini starter for this thing and see if we can't get this thing to just lug over faster. I know you can do it. I need you to run. Hey, it's a new day, and with a new day comes a new mind. I've thought about some things, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to let this thing beat me.
this engine will run inside this car. So I went and got some arsenals to help me assist in making this thing run. Bam! Here is my arsenal. To start right off the bat, we've got a 150 more cold cranking amp battery, the Red Top Optima. Then we have the mini starter dedicated for like your 90s Dodges, 1500s, V6s, whatever, but it is a mini high torque starter, so it will make this engine spin faster. Then, boom! We've got a heavier gauge starter cable I'm going to put on that starter because the factory one is like 1 gauge smaller. And then if by some miracle it fires up, then I'm going to add the oil stabilizer to thicken the oil and hopefully get a little bit better seal on the piston rings, because I want to get my baseline pass. Even if it takes a minute to do a full quarter mile, yes, 60 whole seconds, I want to see this thing do a quarter mile pass. Ha! Better access to the starter. Well, hopefully this is the magic that will get this car running. This and the battery. Every time I put one of these in, it always helped these old cars get going again. eBay. Low miles doesn't smoke. Bloop, 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 bloop. Engine rebuild in a bottle. Ugh. Put some more go juice in behind this thing. That ought to make this motor spin a little harder. It is go time or no time. Come on, baby. Let's see you fire up. Actually, let's see if it even spins any faster. Come on. Well, it's spinning faster at least. Spark check. Okay, I found my wire was not contacting the ballast resistor that good. So, let's try this again. Fire in the hole. Fire in the hole, hopefully. Come on. It's trying. Oh, we got more, a little bit of baby thunders out the exhaust that time. It was trying, it seemed like. Come on. Just give me something. It's really trying a lot harder. Ah, you bastard. We're just gonna have to let the battery charge. I've been cranking for a while, pouring lots of gas and stuff down the carburetor to try and get the rings to seal a little better. Good news is I can start to hear a which means it's kind of building compression a little bit. So our battery is at like 50% now, so I'm gonna let it charge up and then come back and hit it while it's hot. Well, we let the battery charge for about 45 minutes. We're going to attempt this one more time. Put gas in it. We're gonna spray the crap out of it. Just hold on. Gotta hook up our ignition here. Just give me some life. Just give me some sort of life.
Wait.
That was like the most life we've had so far. You know what, let's just throw some timing in it and see what it do. Come on. I can hear compression. Maybe all that fuel and starting fluid I've been dumping down the cylinders has like started to revive some cylinder wall leakage. Come on. Come on. Oh, it was like right there. I know you want to start. Come on. Ah. More timing, maybe? I'm gonna have to go get more starting fluid. I think I heard it actually fighting the compression on that one. Come on, baby, just... It's like right there. Let's open the throttle a little bit more. Come on, man. You're like so close. We'll try. I think we're so, it's even starting to rattle rust loose from the hood. It's actually getting some compression. Oh, yes! I am the smartest man alive. Yes! Let's fill these bowls up. Give me some life. I win! You lose! Let all the acorns and shit burn out for a second. But did you hear it? It's alive. Alright, the fumigation of poop and acorns has cleared. Let's try and get this thing to live a little longer and bring these cylinder walls back to life. Come on, come on. Ah, dang it. Yeah! Come on, baby! Man, it siphoned all that gas really fast. Again. Oh, man. I'm hoping that rattle noise was the transmission attempting to try and go into park.
idling. Yeah. Oh, the transmission is working. Yes, I am victorious. Come on, buddy, come to life. Daddy needs a hot rod. Among all the other ones I got. That is like all 8 cylinders. Cannot defeat me. And
All just the sizzly noises of heat and expansion and now contraction. I'm really curious what our cylinder pressure is now during cranking. I bet you it's gone up.
you know what? I don't even see any excessive blow-by. We might have a bona fide racing engine.
Now, granted, the engine has some heat in it now, but I'm really curious what our cranking compression is now. Almost 120. We damn near doubled the cranking pressure just by forcing this bitch back to life. I feel proud of myself. Alrighty guys, well, we have successfully taken this hunk of junk and revived it into a running muscle car. Now we just need to make it into a running and driving muscle car. I am currently waiting on parts. I've made my shopping list. I just need to wait for things to come in. I didn't want to buy everything in advance because I didn't know what I was going to be getting into, which leads me to, this is going to be a build series car. If you want to see a cool Mopar muscle car be revived and performanced out into the racer that it needs to be, it was born to be, just, 54 years later, then tune in, because like now that it runs, it got me thinking, this is the lower compression 383 Magnum. Now, what kind of performance mods work good with an engine with slightly lower compression? Boost. Yes, I kind of want to boost this thing, so that's what I'm leaning more towards, is some mild performance upgrades, but I don't want to lose the street ability. That's why I'm sticking with mild. So mild cam, and these cylinder heads, do we fix them or do we throw them out and plop in some lighter aftermarket ones? I want to keep this budget friendly though, because you and I, we just want to have fun and not break the bank. So I'm going to try and keep this budget friendly and have a cool Mopar muscle car street beast. I would love to get this thing in the 11s. I know it's kind of a long shot on a budget, but I would love to get it in the 11s with the stock torque converter, because I want it to still be a street car and a tall gear. So stick with me if you want to see this thing get all built up. It's going to be a build series, so multiple episodes on this here than their car. Might even do some interior things. I don't know. Now that the console's all pretty, it's like, maybe we should make a few more other things pretty. Maybe we should do some cosmetic things. Maybe we should make it an RT clone. But more importantly, it needs to be speedy. I'm gonna have to leave this episode right here. There's already so much time and effort spent on this part right here. So next episode, you will see this at the street spot with the Draggy Pro attached to it, getting our baseline time. As you know, it still needs quite a few things to be driver.
And you know what? I have not even tested the brake pedal. Okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, we know we need brakes work now too, so another thing to look into for the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Bolt. I think Bolt would like some treats. Oh, look what I got, Bolt. Yum yums, yeah. Let's get caught up on a little bit of treats for Bolty here. And you know what? I am so sorry, guys. I have not shipped out the goodies that Bolt has won last time. I promise I will get to that tomorrow. All right, treat time. All right, Bolt, this is for Matthew Carter. Ready? Here you go, Bolt. Oh, lucky. Okay, Bolt is getting so good at this. He used to suck at catching, but because of you guys, you're winning more. All this practice. All right, we're gonna have to... Ready, Bolt? Who is this one for? Jerry Hall. Here we go. Bolt, you ready? Up, up, and away. Yes, I win. I win. And it bounced off his head, so you know I wasn't cheating. All right, Dave Cook, this is for you. Bolt keeps trying to creep up on me. Have to try and keep the same distance. All right, Bolt, ready? Dang it. Oh, you suck, Bolt. Dave wins. All right, Jeffrey Brown. Ooh, we're running out of treats here. Jeffrey Brown, here we go. Hold still. Stay there, Bolt. Okay, here we go. This is coming right to your head. Yes! Haha! Jeffrey Brown, you lose. I win. All right, Jeffrey, out. Sorry, bud. James NG. I don't know what James NG is, but that's what I wrote down a while back. So, James NG, this is for you. So, you got Bolt 2 treats, so we'll just give him one full-size one. All right. Ready, Bolt? Here we go. This is for James. Catch it. Right. Oh, you little sucker. He did. So, James, he caught yours. Emily Gonzalez. Emily Gonzalez, here we go. Yeah, are you done bragging that you won, Bolt? Emily Gonzalez, here we go. Ooh, he did not catch that one. What the heck, Bolt? I win. Loser. Just kidding. Sherry Hart. Let's see, we have a bigger piece in here. These are all little tiny ones. Okay, this is the last medium-sized piece we got, so this is the last one we're gonna do. Sherry Hart. All right, Bolt, you ready? It's for Sherry. Oh, he did not catch that one, and it bounced off his chin. So you know I did not cheat you, Sherry. Sorry. Okay, there's many more I gotta do, but I've got a lot of presents I gotta ship out already, so I need to get caught up on those before we really do any more. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been a pleasure. I actually really like this car because since this is not like, well, it is a Survivor car and it is original, but it's not like it's an RT 440 Magnum car. You know, it's not even a Super Bee. It's like a Super Bee in sheep's wool. You know, it's like the Sneaky Bee. Maybe we just call it the Sneaky Bee. All right. See you guys.